Hello everyone, this is Joel with Fortress Canine and Canine Academy coming back at you again with another expert counsel segment. And today we have a question about which breed to choose as a hunting dog. So it's obvious that what they're interested in is some kind of a retrieving dog, but let's start with my basic recommendations for any breed that you might be interested in purchasing. And that is, first decide what you want to do with the dog, and then look at the breeds that are good for doing that thing. So the breeds that they were considering initially were the Labrador Retriever, the German Shorthaired Pointer, and the Wirehaired Retrieving Griffon. Now I'm also going to throw in, as for your consideration, the Brittany Spaniel, because that's one of Jack's favorite hunting dogs. Now, there are some variations between these breeds, but if you are going to try and make some modifications, meaning you're going to try and train the dog to do a few things that it wasn't specifically bred to do, you want to do that as early as possible. So my recommendation would be to get something like a puppy and then start training all the things you want to do as early in the dog's life as possible. You're going to have the most well-rounded and the most probable situation where you're going to get all the things that you want if you start them young. If you just go off their natural instincts, then you want to be really specific about the breeds that were bred for that specific purpose, all right? So first, the Brittany Spaniel. So they are generally considered a do-everything kind of a hunting dog, and they do have a lot of capability for variations in terms of what they're tracking. I know Jack's mentioned that the Brittany he had was great at treeing squirrels, searching out and hunting for various different other types of animals, and also retrieving birds. Now they were specifically bred as an upland retrieving dog. They're a pretty good pointing dog as well, and they're best suited if you're going to be walking around with your dog, right? And you're not on horseback or something like that. They don't quite have the stamina to run with a horse for long periods of time. So if you're a solo hunter or you're hunting in small groups and you want a dog that's going to stay pretty close to you, so you're not running around chasing them all the time or constantly calling them back to you, the Brittany's a really good option for that type of hunting. Now, if you're more interested in doing water retrieving, especially in really cold climates, which is where most of that's occurring, then the Brittany may not be as good an option for that because they're not specifically bred and built for the icy water conditions. Now, a Labrador is probably going to be your top choice in that specific situation, but if you want that capability plus some other things, then we can start looking at the German Shorthaired Pointer as well. Now, your German Shorthaired Pointers are a little bit more high energy, and you can get a variation in your Labradors as well. You can get really high energy working Labradors, which need a lot of discipline in the household if you're going to be living with them. Or you can get some that are slightly lower, but if you want to hunt with your Labrador, you don't want to just get a dog that wants to lay around on the couch all day, right? So, but you also don't necessarily want one that's going to be super, super high energy. I've worked with a couple of Labradors that are as high or higher energy than the Malinois that we breed. So that's just one thing to keep in mind with them. But they're going to do much better in the water and not quite as good as the other dogs, at least, in some of the more upland or walking around types of retrieving. Now, your German Shorthaired Pointer is generally a much higher energy dog, which is great if you're out doing really long stuff where you're sending them way out, or if you're doing long walks while you're hunting, or if you're on something like a four-wheeler or a horse. Something like that, your German Shorthaired Pointers are going to be great for that. And they can handle the cold water for retrieving in the water as well. And so if you're looking for something that can do both of those, the German Shorthaired Pointer might be a little better. If you're looking for something that's specific to water, your Labrador is probably going to be your best option. And if you want something that's a little bit more methodical, that's going to stay really close to you, the Griffon can be a good choice in that. They also tend to be a little bit more mild-mannered in the home, so if you want a dog that's going to be a little easier to live with and you're not going to have to be on top of them all the time, the Griffon can be a good one for that. Now, overall, especially if water retrieving isn't your primary purpose or you're not going to be doing a ton of that, the Brittany can really be a good option here because they kind of are a little bit of all of the breeds in terms of capabilities. Now, they look a lot different, and again, if you have a specific desire for a look, then as long as that dog is really matching what you're wanting to do with them physically in the field, then you can go with, okay, but I like the look of this one a little bit better, right? And it's not that you shouldn't consider looks of the dog at all. It's just that shouldn't be your primary. Your primary should be, what is this dog bred to do, and is that what I want to do with it? So let's just give a quick recap here. So if you're primarily looking for water retrieving, your Labrador is your best bet. If you're looking for higher energy, going out away from you, or running or being on their feet all day long at a really high intensity level, the German Shorthaired pointer is probably good. If you want something that's really well-rounded and all of that, is going to stay a little bit closer to you as long as you train them properly, is pretty good in the house in terms of manners and not being too overwhelmed with energy, and can do most of the things really well, a Brittany is a really great option. And if you want a slightly lower energy level, a dog that's going to stay closer to you, a dog that's going to be more methodical in its search patterns, then the Griffon is a good choice for that. So depending on specifically what you want to do, I would start with a dog that's bred for that and then narrow it down from there. And the looks of the dog would be my last thing on my list of what am I considering when I'm getting ready to purchase a dog. So I hope that's been really helpful for you. We don't specifically have information on Canine Academy about training hunting dogs, but if you just want to get a really good foundation of obedience, check out canineacademy.us. Go over to thesurvivalpodcast.com and click on our banner there so that Jack gets credit if you sign up for one of our courses. We have basic obedience, we have intermediate obedience, and we have advanced obedience that takes you all the way through off-lead obedience with your dogs. Check out those courses if you're interested in getting some training help with your dog. If you're looking for a Malinois, German Shepherd, or Dutch Shepherd, check out fortresscanine.com. We have puppies available right now, specifically Dutch Shepherds. We have males and females available. And then we also have fully trained dogs available at the personal protection, family protection, or executive protection levels. So if you're interested in getting a fully trained protection dog, check out fortresscanine.com. Click on the consult button there. It'll send me a message and I'll reach out to you shortly. All right, I hope that's been helpful for you. And remember, until next time, train hard and stay safe.